What's up guys, Intellitech Studios here, and you can tell there's a good number of vacuums featured in today's vacuum save because I'm stepped all the way back against my TV stand. I really need to get a phone with a wide-angle lens, but anyways, this is episode 45 of Vacuum Saved, and what's special about this episode, this is the brand new edition. As per your guys' request in the most recent poll I did, this was requested. And it's exactly what it says in the title. These are all the machines that I have purchased myself with my own money, brand new in the box. So I'm excluding vacuums that were provided for review, like for example the DreamTech T30, and vacuums that were gifts, for example the Bissell PowerForce Helix Turbo Rewind. So all these machines are machines that I bought brand new, and all but one of them were in the box, but still, they're all brand new when I bought them. Also, excluding refurbished machines as well. Even refurbished machines that were new refurbished, these are ones that were factory brand new, at least when I bought them. And a lot of these I've never even used, surprisingly. Some of these are machines I bought brand new, but never actually used. This includes the Hoover maxlife Total Home Pet, never turned it on. This Hoover Elite Rewind, never turned it on. This Shark Navigator Liftaway, never turned that on. This Daredevil Breeze Cyclonic. And this Bissell Cleanview Rewind Deluxe. So, and then of course a bunch of other machines that I've used. Starting off with the Dyson V8 Absolute, which I just did a review on. And of course, not much to say about this, but it's nice. Not really much else to say about that, other than I really like it. And if you want a semi-premium, well, very premium stick vac, then go buy one of these. It's pretty much that. Now I gotta find a place to set it, because I don't feel like putting it back on the dock right now. So, there's that out of the way. And now we'll move on to another purple machine. We got plenty of purple. So, next we'll move on to, well, no, let's not do a purple. Let's do one of the brand new ones. How about this Hoover? So I've got this brand new Hoover maxlife Total Home Pet. I bought this at Walmart on clearance, I believe back in 2019 or maybe 20. It's been at least a couple years since I've had this, and yeah, it's been a while, and this definitely should have been used by now. Why is there just a random shirt here? But yeah, this definitely should have been used by now. So let's see if this $30 Hoover works. For the record, the only reason why I bought this is because I was wanting to buy one of these soft dusting brushes, and a soft dusting brush of this fitting was about 20 bucks at the time. So I just decided I'll spend an extra 10 bucks and get a whole vacuum with it. So that's what I did. So I was going to sell this, but my fiance says that they really like this one, so might keep it. Who knows? It looks very similar. In fact, it's an identical design to the Heart, except the motor is actually sitting on the base, which is a better design. Now, unfortunately, the box showed a pedal to turn off the brush roller, and it doesn't have that, which is really stupid because the exact same machine. It's even the same model number. So I don't know what the deal is, but we're gonna go ahead and try it. Alright, let's see what this does. So it's on the medium setting. Okay, well, yeah, I don't like this. Right off the bat, I can tell that this is not a vacuum I enjoy. First off, Hoover is, for some reason, incapable of designing a vacuum that actually sits up properly off of the carpet whenever it's upright. So, you bump this the slightest bit and it starts immediately burning the carpet, which again is not a good design. Again, there's no brush roll shutoff, even though that was advertised on the box. Not a fan of that. And this has a really high-pitched squeal that sounds awful. So, not looking forward to reviewing this, but it does work. So, we at least know it works. So, on to the next one. Alright, now we have a much better vacuum. This is one that I featured before, the Bissell Cleanview Multicyclonic 9595A. Now, this one is one of the machines that I've bought brand new, but has since been completely discontinued. And I kind of expected that. I bought it mainly because I really wanted one, and I knew that it was going to be discontinued very soon. And yeah, it was. So my prediction was correct. This is the final 12 amp Cleanview that they made. All the newer ones are a different design and also 8 amps instead of 12. So this particular one I'm really, really enjoying, and I've used it for quite a bit. I've even used it for some from relatively heavy commercial tasks in a pinch, and it's handled itself very well. So I've already reviewed this machine very favorably. It's unfortunate they don't make this anymore. It's not perfect, sure, but it's a much better system than previous Cleanviews. So it's nice and lightweight. Build quality is pretty decent for a Bissell, as well as cyclonic separation for a Bissell. So definitely not going to complain too much there. Alright, let's give it a run. Oh, just that little bit of carpet and it got up all that dust. So, again, this is a really good cleaning vacuum. And I can tell this definitely cleans better than that Hoover, because that Hoover did not get that stuff up. So, I can also tell, you might be able to tell that it still has its original belt on it, because the belt almost stopped whenever it hit the rug on the medium setting. So, clearly it needs a new belt. But, can you really blame it? It's its original belt, and this machine is, I think, at least 2 years old. 3 years old. So yeah, 3-year-old belt. But still holds. So that needs a belt. But other than that, it's perfect. So I do really, really like this machine. So this will definitely stay in the collection. Alright, next we've got the Bissell Powerlifter Bagged Pet. I don't know if they make these anymore or not, but this is the upgraded version of the Power Force. I'm pretty sure they still make this. Just normally it's like $100. Normally it's like $150, but that's not really worth it. Get it for $100 if you can, because for $150 you're better off getting that or that. But yeah, it's okay. I'm glad I checked it because there wasn't a bag in here, but I did put the bag from the Sanitaire in here. So that's in there. HEPA bag. Bought this brand new. I paid $88 for it. Hi, Rika. Hi. Are you confused? Rika. Rika. What you doing? Okay. Anyways. So I gave this machine a bit of a tune-up not too long ago. Put a new belt on it, cleaned up the brush roller. that sort of thing. Still has all its attachments with this, including this awful triple brush that doesn't work right. But it's really lightweight, and I like this. This is definitely one of the machines that I always recommend to people. But it is a little loud since it's very high-pitched. But it does work pretty well. So yeah, give this a run. Okay, so it appears that in the time that this has sat, that belt has completely stretched out. Because that just completely stopped. So, yeah, and you can tell it's stretched because it stopped, yet there's no burning smell because it's just slipping. So, yeah, not great. But obviously the new belt will solve that. I think that other Bissell had a bad belt too. Yeah, so apparently if you store vacuums, well, I shouldn't say apparently, a lot of people know this, but if you store vacuums with stretch belts for extended periods of time, especially several seasons, without touching them, and you immediately try to run them, the belts will have stretched out from the change in temperature and the change in air pressure and all that. So, yeah, you definitely, if you definitely need to replace a belt at least every 6 months to a year, whether or not it's actually been used. So, in fact, it seems like, in my experience, it seems like it wears out more if you don't use it than if you do, which seems backwards, but yeah, so that needs a belt, but I'm not really going to count that as it not working. It's brand new. I just need to slap a belt on it. I'll probably end up selling this since I don't really use it. But I've been trying to give this to like friends and family members that need a vacuum because I know it's fantastic. And yet some people are like, I don't want bagged. I want bagless. Give me a bagless. Do you have any bagless? I don't want a bagged. I want bagless. And I'm just like, okay. And then I give them a bagless, and then I end up still having this. So, although I did sell one person on a bagged, on a Power Force that I had, just a 1739 Power Force, that you guys never got to see because I just immediately gave it to her. But it's not like there's anything special about those. You've seen those a million times on this channel. But yeah, Rika, get off the coffee table. Rika, get off the coffee table. Rika, thank you. Oh, don't run away. I felt like I was polite. I asked you nicely. Okay, whatever. So that's that. Belt's stretched out, but what are you gonna do? Next, we've got my Dyson Ball Animal Dyson Ball Total Clean, not Animal Total Clean, just Ball Total Clean. This is the one that I got open box on eBay, but still brand new, sealed in the box, for the most part, ish, give or take. And yeah, so I did replace the Cyclone on this because the Cyclone had a weird issue where it wasn't really staying attached to the bin very well, which that's pretty much remedied itself. But it also had an issue with the gasket on the bin where it wasn't staying in place when there was dirt in it, and dirt was kind of escaping and sliding out from underneath it. It's not too bad now, but I did replace this with I did replace the bin and the Cyclone. But I did put the original Cyclone and bin back on for this video. So that's pretty much that. So this, even though I bought this new, it has some issues, and that's why I haven't used it. Because other than that little flaw, there's one more flaw with it that I've noticed where when I recline it, the power head likes to lift up off the ground for some reason, which it should not be doing, because it's supposed to be down on the ground. And so sometimes when I pull back, it'll it'll lift up a little bit when I'm pulling it back, which is a little annoying. So I'm wondering if that's just like it being stiff and that if it'll loosen up over time. But, you know, it's been a little annoying, so I just kind of stopped using it, and I just instead elected to use my Animal 2. You know, but I do still like this machine. And yeah, so I'm not sure if that's a result of this being a cheaper SKU, or if that's just a defect with my unit, or if, you know, the person who originally bought this at Sam's Club discovered that issue and returned it, and then that's how it ended up on eBay. I don't know, but perhaps I assume that's probably something that I can maybe just that I could probably fix with some lubrication. Maybe if I lubricate this area, maybe that'll be fine. I don't know, but yeah. So that's that. It's still very shiny and new, even though I've used this a couple times. So yeah, that's that. So I'll give this a run. Even though it's all clean, but you know, we'll still give it a run. I'll show you the filter real quick, since this did get a lot of use. And despite that, the filter still looks brand new. So the motor on this sounds really bad, and I don't know why. But one thing I just now noticed that I never really tried before is that, unlike my Animal 2, so this machine has less suction than the Animal 2 because it's the Animal 1 essentially. But I think that's actually a good thing, because this doesn't clamp down to the carpet at all. So whereas the Animal 2 does, and the Animal 3 is just in general harder to push because of just the way it's designed. Even with the easy push cleaner head, the vacuum is feels like it's weighted differently, even though it's the same general design. I don't get it. But this is great. This was just super easy to maneuver. So yeah, maybe I should just start using this again. But yeah, so that's pretty interesting. And yeah. Next, we've got my first gen Hoover Lynx cordless. This has been replaced by both the Signature Edition that comes in black, which I also own, and then the current Hoover 1 Power that replaced it. And it's dead. Okay, well, I guess that's what happens when you don't charge it for over a year. Yep, that is dead. Okay, well, I guess we can't demo that, but I bought it brand new for $99 at Walmart when they were liquidating these. Yep, that's pretty much my reaction. Come on, get out of the way. Alright, what do we have next? Oh, we've got a Shark. Yes, I had two of these, believe it or not, because I bought one online, I bought one in person, and I forgot to return the second one, so I ended up with two of these. I just sold the first one, the one that I actually demoed and reviewed, and of course I've reviewed the purple version of this numerous times over the years. These aren't as bad as I used to think, and especially compared to a lot of the junk that Shark makes nowadays, but it's still pretty bad, and I'm still not a fan of it, especially after all the issues that I've had with Sharks. So I have zero interest in keeping this machine and trying to sell all my Sharks, with the exception of the Stratos, for no other reason than the fact that it's going to go in the basement since the soft roller works so well in the basement. That's where it's going to live the rest of its life. It's going to rot away in the basement. And I'll keep my Apex as well for upstairs. Again, for just hard floors. Brand new Shark. That switch feels like crap, and that motor sounds awful, and this thing is brand new, so that's pretty pathetic. So it does have good suction though. It clamped itself down to the rug pretty nicely, and unlike the Dysons, it actually has a suction control, which is really nice. So this is the version, if you remember, that doesn't come with any actual upholstery or crevice tools. It just comes with a turbo brush, which of course falls off because it's not designed to go on this thing. But what are you gonna do? So that's that. It's a Shark. Not much else to say about it. Alright, next we've got a Dirt Devil. So this is the one I bought at Big Lots a while ago, and where the handle was broken out of the box even after I exchanged it. So I bought a scuffed up handle on eBay. Wish I hadn't wasted my time because that was a pain. So yeah, that's all there is to it. It's a Dirt Devil. So, and I've never ran it because who cares? Let's see how stretched out this belt is. Yep, that belt is pretty shot. Okay. Does not surprise me. This is turning into a competition of how many shot belts can we deal with in one episode. And ironically, all on brand new machines. But that's gonna happen. If you find a new old stock machine, or just a machine that's been that's stuttering. This is a family show. That's been sitting on the shelf for an extended period of time, then yeah, you're gonna have some problems with that belt. It's a horrible machine. Although in some ways I do like it better than the previous F1 style Dirt Devil Breeze, which is blasphemous for me to say, but it's not like, you know, these are just horrible machines to begin with. Although, admittedly, the older style F1 Breeze is a fantastic cleaner if it plays nice with your carpet, and those things are built like tanks, so for the most part at least. So yeah, that's that. It's a Dirt Devil Breeze Cyclonic, one of the last ones they ever made, from 2018, 2020 when I got this. I don't remember. You guys can figure that out if you feel like it. So that's the Dirt Devil Breeze Cyclonic. Next, we've got a machine that arguably I shouldn't have bought, considering how poorly the one that I got for even free was, but this is the Musu U1400 Max, and I grabbed this because I knew nobody bought this. It's going to be a collector's item soon, and it's my favorite color that I've ever seen on a vacuum. Blue, silver, and orange are my favorite colors, and to see this wild amalgamation of colors on a machine actually offered for sale, and from what is essentially a rebadged UK Hoover, I had to jump on it, and I'm glad I did. So, and this actually does clean better than the other Musu upright, but what are you gonna do? So, we'll give this a short run. It's on the 3 setting. So setting was probably a little bit too high. You could hear that it was barely touching the carpet. And yeah, so not the best. But hey, it's fun. So yeah, that's the Musu U1400 Max, also known as the Hoover Blaze Evo or Breeze Evo, whatever pet in the UK. Now we've got one of my favorite modern vacuums, the Sanitaire SL4110A, which is basically just a rebadged Bissell Big Green Commercial, but with a few differences. It doesn't have the pigtail core, but it does have a metal handle and a better color scheme. So that's what this is. I put a bag in it, one of the Vacuum America Clean bags, which unfortunately do not filter nearly as well as the Clean Fairy bags, as the entire bag chamber, you can't see it, but it's rather dusty on the inside. But I imagine this, I believe this still has its original belt, so this is probably, oh no it doesn't, I replaced the belt a few months back and I haven't used it since, but I'm sure it's stretched out just from it sitting. So let's see what this does. Pretty good. So far, this is the best belt that's aged out of all of these, which is pretty impressive. So, yeah, and yeah, that agitation is really good. And one thing I love about these Bissells is that when you put them in the upright position, the base snaps so far up off of the ground that even if you accidentally bump it and lean it forward, it still will not burn the carpet, which for a vacuum with no brush roll shutoff is a hugely important feature that Hoover just seems to neglect all the time on their machines, and it makes them unusable, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, so I still love this machine. You can see I used it for a long time. I haven't been using it recently because I've been using Dysons, but this thing is still in perfect shape. Pedal release is not broken, no real scratches or anything. It's been a real trooper. So yeah, I still can't recommend this machine enough. Even though a lot of people seem to just write this off as just a Power Force that's been rebadged at a higher price. No, it is legitimately better quality. So yeah, still one of my favorite machines that you can buy nowadays. And whenever I do my list of recommended vacuums at the end of the year, this will definitely be on the list. And on to the other commercial Bissell, the Bissell Big Green Commercial Power Force Pro. So this one I've had for quite a long time. I bought this back in 2018, and it's still chugging, still no problems. And during the few times that I cleaned commercially, like legitimately commercially, which has not been a lot, the few times that I did, I used this. And it did a really good job, so never had any issues with this thing. Even leaving it in my car out in the cold, it handled it just fine. So, been running the same HEPA bags in here, and it's been pretty good. So, this machine's a little dirty. I did upgrade it to a HEPA filter. But, yeah, I need to get some more of those HEPA filters. And, of course, HEPA bag. So, pretty self-explanatory. This is I believe this one's a Clean Fairy bag. But yeah, so still rocking its original brush roller. Ooh, that belt's a little crunchy. I know I've replaced this belt a couple times because there was one time when I was still living with my dad where he accidentally sucked up a sock in it and broke the belt, but it wasn't a big deal. Easy enough to change, so not a big deal. And other than that, it's been chugging along. Still got all the original attachments and everything. So yeah, let's see how this belt has survived over sitting for a year untouched. Because the last time I used this was before we moved in. It was before this carpet was replaced, and I vacuumed the old carpet that was really nasty before it got pulled up. So this thing's probably not going to smell the greatest, considering it still has that bag in here, but whatever. Just like the Sanitaire, the belt on this machine has aged very gracefully as well. Even though I changed both of these belts a much longer time ago than in the powerlifter. So that's a bit weird. Ooh, I can definitely smell the smell coming off of this thing. So, ooh, that's not great. I need to change that. I think I just need to change that bag. But, yeah, so that's pretty much that. Ooh, that smells bad. It's got a dusty smell. But yeah, still chugging along just fine. No signs of stopping anytime soon, at least not as far as I'm aware, even still on its original brush roller. And based on the agitation, I don't think that needs changed yet. This machine, of course, needs no introduction, but it will get one anyways. This is the Dyson Ball Animal 3. Brand new upright from Dyson. I guess not quite brand new anymore, but still their newest upright. I have the Easy Push cleaner head installed on the easiest to push setting. And yeah, so obviously I bought this brand new. Got it when I had a discount on my account, so I was able to get it for a little bit of a better price and got a bunch of free tools with it. So, well, a couple free tools with it. The ones I didn't have at the time, so worked out perfectly. This is the extra model, of course, with the copper top. And yeah, so we'll give this a run. So even though this machine, in my experience, is a little bit weightier than the Animal 2 and 1, I do notice that the swiveling mechanism is a lot smoother. I don't remember if I mentioned this in the full review or not. I'm sure I did, but just noticing it right now after using these one right after another is that, yeah, so the Animal 2 is the most difficult to use. The Animal 1's a little bit easier. And this, in some ways, is tied with it. In some ways, the Animal 1 is easier to use than the 3, or easier to steer than the 3, and in other ways, the 3 is easier to steer with the 1. So the Animal 1 is a little bit less weighty, but the 3 is a lot smoother. So there's that difference. And of course, the cleaner head on the 3 is more efficient and doesn't tangle. So yeah, that's that. So, Animal 3, but this time with the Easy Push cleaner head installed. Now for the last Bissell. This is the Bissell Cleanview Rewind Deluxe, although it just says Cleanview Rewind. So, I bought this at Big Lots for $60 when this model was discontinued. This was actually the floor model. But, you know, it was back when the floor models were actual machines, so it was missing a couple of the attachments as a result of it being the floor model, but not a big deal. It had the turbo brush, and it had the dusting brush. So I supplied the other attachments myself, which includes the corner tool and the extension wand and crevice tool. So yeah, that's that. Still haven't used it. Has a fingertip power button, which is pretty atypical for Bissells. Let's see how bad this belt is stretched out. It's actually not too loud. It's actually pretty quiet, but I can tell this is the 8 amp motor because it's a lot whinier than the one in the other Cleanview. But yeah, that belt is surprisingly not stretched out. I think just the genuine Bissell belts might just last longer than the great value ones. I think the great value ones that I usually use just stretch out really easily. I should probably just buy genuine belts from now on instead of buying Walmart belts, but whatever. It still smells like a new vacuum too, which is nice. So it still smells good. But yeah, so not too loud. So it seems like they put some sound dampening in the motor or something, because it's fairly quiet when compared to my other 8 amp Bissells. It sounds more muffled. So who knows? Maybe I will keep this. I wasn't planning on it, but you never know. And finally, for today's vacuum saved, we have my favorite of the bagless budget rewinding machines, the Hoover Elite Rewind Cyclonic. Now, of course, this machine is discontinued, and the newer versions that have replaced this are much worse. But I still like this one. In fact, I have two of them. I have this red one, and I have a blue one. So I decided to go with red, since I have plenty of blue machines already, and not enough red ones. So yeah, big fan of this machine. Really like it. It's probably one of my favorite Hoovers that has ever existed. It's built really well for the most part. The cyclone is very effective. It's not too loud. It cleans really well. It was very inexpensive when this came out. So rewind mechanism is pretty rock solid. So yeah, we'll go ahead and give it a run. We've already got some fluff in there. Belt squealed a little bit, but shouldn't be too bad. Might have to change that. But that's it. So, it's all of my brand new vacuum purchases over the last couple years in one neat vacuums saved. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed. Even though this isn't much of a vacuum saved, it's more of a vacuums bought. But, you know, you could argue I saved these from the store. I saved these from going to somebody who would just trash them and throw them away. So, there's that. So, yeah, this is Intellitech Studios signing out. I'll see you guys in the next video, and hope you all have a good one. Peace.